The studio lights blazed as Samantha Pierce, host of The Pulse, stepped onto the stage, her professional smile masking curious eyes. Welcome to The Pulse. Tonight we've got comedy legend Chris Rock and White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt. Let's welcome them. The crowd erupted as Rock emerged from stage left, black leather jacket gleaming, smirking like he was ready for a fight. Levitt followed from stage right, navy suit sharp, her gaze steady and unyielding. They sat across from each other, the air already crackling. Samantha leaned in, tone provocative. Chris, you had the country laughing with your Melania Trump joke last week. What did you mean when you said she wants Donald swept away? Rock let out a big laugh, tilting his head toward the audience. Listen, Samantha, Melania's not the first lady. She's a model stuck in a marriage contract even the worst lawyer wouldn't sign. Every night she's practicing "I'm fine" in 5 languages, praying for a hurricane to sweep Trump into the Pacific. The crowd roared, some whistling, the studio buzzing. Rock stood, pacing, mic pressed to his mouth like a weapon. Have you seen Melania at press briefings? She's looking at Trump like, I traded Milan Fashion Week for a guy who stared into an eclipse. Trump runs the country like a canceled Apprentice episode with low ratings, and Melania's the only contestant who can't vote him off. From 2017 to 2021, she appeared with him publicly less than 200 times, fewer than his tweets from the White House. The audience exploded again, applause mixing with laughter. Samantha cut in. Chris, you've got stats to back that up, but isn't it a bit much? Rock raised an eyebrow. A bit much? I haven't even started. Trump thinks he's King Midas. Everything he touches turns to gold. But no, everything goes bust. Casinos, airlines, this marriage. Melania's real gold stuck in Trump's rusty copper smelter. She's wanted a divorce since he tried to buy Greenland like it's a KFC bucket. Someone yelled, Right on, Chris! Rock pointed at the crowd. They know I'm right. Stage right stirred. Caroline Levitt rose, blonde hair pulled high, walking with a warrior's resolve. The crowd hushed, then murmured. She sat across from Rock, icy gaze sweeping over him. Rock grinned, unfazed. Oh, look, Trump's rescue squad's here. What you gonna do, kid? Call the Secret Service to arrest me for making the audience laugh? Or hand me Melania's contract for a quick read? A few chuckles broke out, but the air thickened. Samantha turned to Levitt. Caroline, you've heard Chris. What do you think? Levitt's fingers tapped the table like a countdown, eyes locked on Rock. He didn't care, diving back in. I know you're Trump's mouthpiece, Caroline. They paying you 180 grand a year. Even you gotta admit Melania looks at Trump like I look at my tax bill. How long's she been polishing his image since he stared into that eclipse? I bet she wanted to scream, Donald, where's your eyes? I'm dying in here. But she's stuck, and Trump thinks it's the best marriage ever, like he thinks he won the election with 100% of the vote. Rock stepped closer to Levitt's table, pointing. This kid can say whatever, but Melania signed the worst deal in history, worse than Trump's voters, who lost by 7 million. I've got stats. Since Trump's first term, Melania smiled in public 12 times in photos. I counted on Google. Trump grins every day because he thinks he's a genius, but what genius has a wife looking like she wants to bolt? The audience erupted, applause echoing. Rock sat back, arms spread like he'd nailed a perfect set. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. Melania's a luxury prisoner, And Trump's the warden with the worst wig on the planet. Samantha gave an awkward laugh. Chris, you're taking it to another level. Rock shrugged, eyes twinkling. It's my job, Samantha. Truth's funnier than any script Trump ever dreamed up. Samantha turned to Levitt. Caroline, he said a lot about the president's family. Your thoughts? The crowd fell silent, every eye on Levitt. She stood, her razor-sharp gaze slicing through rock. The air turned heavy, like a storm was brewing. Chris, you done? Levitt's voice was calm but steely. I'll show you what truth looks like. Rock raised an eyebrow, trying to jump in. Oh, the kid wants to play? Levitt raised a hand, cutting him off, her voice overpowering stray giggles. Don't call me kid, Chris. I'm the White House press secretary, not here for comedy games. You think you can make up stuff about the president's family and laugh it off like a street clown? You're wrong. The crowd went quiet, a few jaws dropping. Rock tried to hold his confidence. Make up stuff? I'm saying what everyone sees. Melania. Levitt cut in, voice rising. No, you're lying, and I'll prove it. You said Melania's a luxury prisoner, signed the worst deal. Where'd you get your stats? Google or your imagination? In Trump's first term, the first lady hosted over 50 charity events, met 30 heads of state, and represented America on 15 international trips. That's not a prisoner. That's a dedicated, strong woman. You toss out hurricane jokes, thinking the audience will clap forever. I won't let you turn the president's family into a punchline for your next special. The crowd murmured, a few clapping for Levitt. Rock laughed, trying to regain control. 50 charity events? Impressive. But did you count how many times Melania looked at Trump like she wanted to run? Levitt didn't flinch, stepping closer, eyes locked on him. You want to talk looks? I see a woman who stood by her husband through every storm, from the campaign to the White House's toughest days. What do you know about that, Chris? Who've you stood by besides your mic and a paid audience? The crowd gasped, applause growing louder. Rock opened his mouth, but Levitt pressed on. You say she wants Trump swept away. I've got proof otherwise. Melania's been with him over 20 years, through 3 campaigns, every criticism. That's commitment you can't fathom. Samantha jumped in. Caroline, you're defending hard. Levitt turned to her, voice sharp. I'm not just defending, Samantha. I'm fixing what Chris got wrong. He makes up stories about a woman who isn't here to speak. He says she barely smiled. I don't know how he counted, but Melania doesn't need smiles to prove strength. You, Chris, need laughs to hide that you've got nothing worth saying. The audience clapped furiously. Rock gripped the mic tighter, starting to falter. Stale? I'm Chris Rock. Levitt cut him off. Yeah, you're Chris Rock, but tonight you're a failed comedian attacking others for fame. Rock's voice rose. Fame? I was famous before you were born, kid. Melania doesn't need you defending her. Levitt's eyes flashed. Don't call me kid again, Chris. I was born for this. What were you born for? Slandering a family that served this country? You say Trump ruins everything. In his first term, GDP grew 3%, unemployment dropped to 3.5% pre-pandemic. That's achievement, not ruin. What's your biggest win? A comedy special 20 years ago? The crowd erupted, applause thundering. Rock flinched. GDP? You turning this into a press briefing? I'm talking Melania, Levitt fired back. No, you're talking the president's family, and I'm here to protect them. You call your comedy truth? I call it cowardice. The audience clapped again. Levitt's support drowning out Rock's fading chuckles. Samantha raised a hand. Okay, you're both strong. Chris, want to respond? Rock shot up, voice shrill. Respond? You think I'll let this kid school me? I'm Chris Rock. I don't need anyone telling me what to say. He pointed at Levitt, voice shaking. You think you're better than me? Melania looks at Trump like she wants out, and you can't deny it. He slammed the mic down, the sound piercing the air. A few whistled, but the applause thinned, like the crowd sensed him unraveling. Levitt sat still, lips pressed tight, then stood, voice cold as ice. Chris, you yell, you slam tables. That doesn't make your words truer. I'm the press secretary. I stand for truth, not your circus. The crowd clapped, Levitt's support swelling. Rock tried to cut in. Truth? I see Melania, Levitt interrupted. No, you imagine, then toss cheap jokes for laughs. I won't let you target the First Lady for your satisfaction. Rock stepped back, face redder, voice roaring. I'm the only one daring to speak straight. Melania's stuck. Everyone sees it. You can't change how she stands next to him, like she's in a golden cage. The crowd gave a few laughs, but the energy waned. Levitt shot back, calm but sharp. You've got eyes but not truth. You say she's stuck. I see a woman who chose to stay, who worked for this country. What have you done besides yelling like a tantrum-throwing kid? The crowd gasped, applause for Levitt booming. Rock flinched. Kid, I'm Chris Rock. I've got 3 Emmys, 2 Grammys, millions watching me. Levitt smiled coldly. You call me a lackey? I'm shielding the president's family from guys like you, who think lying's talent. Samantha broke in. Chris, Caroline. Rock cut her off, voice cracking. No, let me talk. She can't shut me up. Melania's a prisoner. I bet she wrote a divorce paper the day Trump stared at the eclipse. He slammed the mic again, panting. Levitt stepped closer, voice commanding. You bet? I bet you've got nothing but a big mouth. Melania's been with Trump through 20 years. Every challenge. Something you'd never grasp. The audience erupted, applause drowning Rock's yells. Levitt sat, eyes locked on Rock. You've got to face it, Chris. You're the loser tonight. Yell all you want, but truth doesn't budge, and I proved it. The crowd stood, clapping wildly, Levitt's cheers filling the studio. Rock tried to smile, but it twisted, his confidence gone. Samantha's voice trembled. We need a breather. Rock shouted, I'm not done. But Levitt's applause swallowed him. He hurled the mic to the floor, the crash ringing out, and stormed off stage left. Levitt adjusted her suit, gave Samantha a slight smile, and exited stage right. The studio's big screen switched to the Pulse logo, but the buzz didn't stop. Some raised phones, filming Rock's exit, while others chattered. Chris got knocked out, one shouted. Caroline crushed him, another replied. On X, New Year Rock vs. Levitt shot to top trends, posts spreading like wildfire. Chris Rock just lost the fight of his career. Caroline Levitt's the comeback queen. Backstage, Rock shoved open the green room door, panting. His manager, Tony, stood waiting, phone in hand. Rock slammed the table. Who's she to do that to me? I'm Chris Rock. I'm not letting a 27-year-old punk humiliate me. Tony raised a hand. Chris, chill. She played hard, but you've got fans. Rock cut him off. Fans? They picked her. Call PR. I want a live stream tonight to teach her a lesson. Tony nodded uneasily. Okay, but yelling won't cut it. Across backstage, Levitt entered a meeting room, her media team ready. She set her hands on the table, voice calm. Chris Rock dug his grave out there. I did my job. Her assistant, brown hair in a ponytail, nodded. You were amazing, Caroline. But he might hit back. He's talking live stream. Levitt smiled, eyes flashing. Let him try. He's got nothing but old jokes. Prep a statement. Press secretary defends truth against slander. We stay in control. The assistant typed fast while Levitt sat, fingers tapping with confidence. News channels jumped on the story. A CNN ticker flashed. Chris Rock faces off with Caroline Levitt on the pulse. Comedian falters. The anchor noted, Rock tried to take on the Trump family, but Levitt shut him down with facts. It's rare to see a comedian beaten on his own stage. Online posts spread. Caroline made Chris a punchline, and Rock yelled loud but lost hard. Levitt's the MVP. Hours later, Rock went live on Instagram from his LA apartment, camera shaking as he held the phone, lights hitting his angry face. Over 200,000 viewers flooded in, spiking to millions. Yo, everybody, Rock yelled, voice raspy. I'm not letting that kid Caroline Levitt think she beat me. I'm Chris Rock. I don't lose to a spokesperson reading stats like a robot. Comments flooded. Right on, Chris, mixed with, she crushed you. Rock paced, hands flailing. She called me a clown. I've got 50 million followers, 3 Emmys, 2 Grammys. What's she got? A desk and GDP numbers nobody cares about? I'm talking Melania. She's a luxury prisoner, and everybody knows I'm right. I bet she wrote a divorce paper the day Trump stared at the eclipse. He paused, pointing at the screen. You all see it, right? She says I'm making it up. No, I'm telling the truth. Truth's funnier than her papers. Comments rolled. Hilarious, mixed with Levitt won. He kept going. She says Melania did 50 charity events. I bet she did them to avoid Trump. I've got stats. Trump went bust 6 times. Casinos, airlines, Trump University. Melania's his biggest flop. She says I'm washed up. I made $20 million from one Netflix special. How much she make? $180,000? I'm burning her down. He slammed the table, panting. Comments split. Chris is the man, mixed with, you're yelling too much. At the White House, Levitt watched Rock stream on her laptop with her team. She raised an eyebrow, then turned to her assistant. He's making it worse. Prep an X post. Short, sharp. Minutes later, Levitt's account posted, Chris Rock can yell loud, but truth doesn't need a mic. Rock, 0 proof, just noise. Who won? It racked up tens of thousands of likes, spreading fast. On Rock vs. Levitt trended, memes favoring Levitt. Rock yelling captioned, when you lose but won't admit it. Next to Levitt smiling with, truth always wins. On the live stream, Rock caught Levitt's post in the comments. What? She says 0 proof? He yelled. I've got proof. Melania avoids Trump like the plague. I bet she hasn't slept in the same room since 2016. She's got 200,000 followers. I've got 50 million. Comments shifted. She's got a point. And Levitt won. News rolled on MSNBC. Rock's trying a comeback, but Levitt's holding the high ground with a concise X response. Truth speaks for her. Rock kept streaming, voice hoarse. She thinks she won with that post? I've got millions watching. Melania's a prisoner, and people know I'm right. But viewership dropped from 2 million to 1.5, negative comments piling up. Chris, you lost. He paused, eyes wavering. I'm not losing, he muttered, cutting the stream abruptly, the screen going black. At the White House, Levitt watched her ex-post's likes skyrocket past 50,000. She turned to her team. He finished himself off. We don't need to reply again. Her assistant nodded. You won, Caroline. The public's with you. Levitt smiled. I know. He yells loud. But I've got truth, and truth wins. In L.A., Rock sat in his apartment, desk lamp lighting his tired face. Tony stood by, worried. A laptop showed live stream stats, from 2 million to 800,000 when he cut off. Rock slammed the table. How'd this happen, Tony? I've got 50 million followers. Why'd they pick her? Tony sighed. You yelled too much, Chris. She's got stats, arguments. You've got shouts. Fans love you, but they wanted truth. Rock shook his head. Truth? I told the truth. Melania's a prisoner. Tony put a hand on his shoulder. She proved it, Chris. Rest. Don't make it worse. Rock slumped, hands on his head. I didn't lose, he whispered, but his voice lacked strength, like a champ facing a clear loss. At the White House, Levitt sat in her office, window light hitting her desk. Her assistant walked in, tablet in hand. Caroline, your ex-post. The public's going nuts for you. Rock's quiet. Levitt smiled. Good. He finished himself. Truth did its job. She stood, looking out at the lawn. Prep a final statement. Melania Trump, a dedicated first lady. Chris Rock's just noise. We're done. News channels cemented Levitt's win. MSNBC said, Rock underestimated Levitt. He thought shouts would do it, but she wielded truth like a weapon. CNN replayed her ex-post captioned, Levitt triumphs, Rock retreats. On X, comments piled up, Rock's done, Caroline's the star, and she won without yelling. In L.A., Rock turned off his phone, sitting in the dark, muttering, I didn't lose. But against Levitt, he was a shadow of himself. The clash on the Pulse mirrored today's America, where entertainment, politics, and social media collide. Rock leaned on fame and lines like, Melania's a luxury prisoner, but crashed against Levitt's stats, 50 charity events, 3% GDP, and razor-sharp arguments. It shows a shift where facts claw back power from hype. The takeaway? In a world split by opinions, prep hard, stay cool, and arm yourself with truth to win public spats. Rock lost to anger. Levitt won with reason. That's how you thrive in this wild world.